blaming the upbringing rather than her. So you don't think she should have
Of
gone to
course,
jail?
she is still a child.
Children can do horrific things.
Of
I,
course they can. Of course children can do horrific things.
yeah, so I don't understand why you think like children are all innocent creatures and you still uphold that even when this child clearly isn't innocent. And if she didn't go, she will do it again. But then you will continue blaming her upbringing until she's 18. And then when she's 18, you will be like, oh, that's just how she is. Wouldn't you?
No.
So when she turns 18, now she's a legal adult and let's say she's still doing this, which it probably she would, um, what would you blame? You still blame her upbringing, or would you blame her as an individual person who individually did those things that were individually terrible?
Do you want an honest answer?
And what's your answer?
At 18 years old, both.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely both.
Okay. Well, I see that you're not mature enough, which means I don't see that
I'm
you
not
have
mature.
enough,
What makes you say?
which means, let me finish, that you don't have enough life experiences. Because I hung
How old do you
around,
think I am?
but I don't think, I told you, I don't think age has nothing to do with how mature you are.
No. So
So,
you think it's just life experiences, yeah?
yeah, I don't think you have enough life experiences. You probably don't hang around too much kids like I do. In my
I
upbringing,
promise you, I do not want to be hanging around
I
kids, mate. I promise you
Yeah,
that.
so you probably don't know what kids mostly do because you're not mostly around kids. So usually that's usually would have been the first thing I asked, like what experience you have, because you don't have any
Mhm.
experience with kids to be labeling it like, oh, they don't act like this when you have zero experience upon it. And since you have zero experiences with it, you don't think there could be a bad child. But I have many experiences with underage kids when I was underage and now, and they are some really crazy kids that are crazy and mean.
So you're saying I was never a kid?
I'm not saying that, duck.
No,
I
you.
never said
So
that.
you lit.
I
You
never said
can I
that
speak?
though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I speak? You said you you know this stuff from when you were also a kid and experienced other kids doing bad
No.
stuff. I've been a kid before. I have
Okay.
been a kid, and so has everyone else here. And everyone has
But
experienced
kids
their
can
bad stuff in
change
life.
over time. That's why people label
Of
it
course.
different generations. So maybe you were a
Of
kid
course.
like 2 years ago and you think that's all the experience you need. But no, kids are evolving like other people and they're not going to act the same way that like they would 2 years ago. So just because you're saying, oh, I was a kid and I should know, no, you need to keep up with the new generation, what's going on right now that you
So
probably
so
don't.
what's to say that the generation after yours is going to be as bad as you think?
I don't know because, well, yeah, they are here. They actually are here right
Well,
now.
well, there you go then.
No, I
So
do
so how
know.
can you now say that most kids don't? So you know what they're like?
Yeah, I be around kids. That's how I can
In what
literally
sense?
say,
Why are you around
that's
kids?
why I can literally say through 1 to 7 of things that they do because I be around them so
Okay.
much.
So
Well,
you didn't say 1 to 7, you said 1 to 6, but sure. But
oh, I
in
didn't put a
what sense are
7?
you around kids?
So, I work at an establishment that have a lot of kids, all different kind of backgrounds. They don't know each other, but they all do the same thing. Okay? Not only that, but there's a lot of children that are biologically related to me, which means they're my family that I can go off of. And there's also my little brother. So I have multiple experiences from all kinds of kids to come to this conclusion, unlike yourself.
So just because your family has been upbrought in a bad way and your family misbehaves and commits crimes, then
Uh,
that means most kids in the world commit
what?
crimes? But that's what you
No.
just said, no? You just
No.
said your only experience is your family and your cousin.
And my cousin. Oh, he's just looking at the chat. I've never said my cousin or my family. I said I work in a place, but he didn't hear that part. I don't know. I don't know. I said my family towards the end, but the beginning I said I have a job that works with kids with all different backgrounds that don't know each other but do the same thing. That's what I said in the beginning. Why do y'all skip over the most important parts? The most important part. No, I don't work in a daycare.
So what establishment do you like work at? Just like a general
I work at a buffet, so
a
like a
buffet.
restaurant.
I volunteer at a nursery and I do
Awesome.
not agree with this take at all.
Only one type of age range, which would
No,
be like under.
nursery can span from infant. Where our nursery, how it's set up is that we do 6 months. That's the minimum age that you can have at our
Okay.
nursery, and then we
You
have a
mean a
separate
daycare?
part for older kids. It's not a daycare; it's a nursery. We have a nursery and then we have a daycare, but we mostly target. If someone has like
Okay, so
young
what's
people
in the
have a
daycare?
baby
To
in
what
the
ages?
daycare, we don't allow anybody under the age of like 8. Anybody who's over the age of 8, we cannot accept them because when they're
Okay, but
9, that's when they grow independence.
Okay, do you spend more time in the nursery or in the daycare?
I spend more time in the daycare because personally, I'm not so crazy about babies. My other coworkers handle that. The other volunteers handle that better.
Okay, then why did you say I work at a nursery? If you said if
Because the
you
nursery is a
don't.
part of the daycare, like they're interchangeable, and that doesn't mean that I don't spend time at the nursery. It's just that mostly
Yeah, but you don't
whenever
work there.
I volunteer there, I'm around there. If you want to get
You
nitpicky
could.
with what type of phrasing that I say, then you can get
It's
nitpicky
not
with
just a
it. But
phrase, it's a
then,
word that has nothing to do with your job that you get paid to do, not that you're volunteering to do.
okay, but I'm
So
around
it's
the
not just.
kids. That's the
Okay,
whole point of this.
then please say
And I
I
don't agree
work at
with
a
this take.
daycare, not at a nursery, because a nursery is not
Okay.
for kids, it's
Okay,
for
then I work
babies.
at a daycare. Then are you
Yeah.
okay then?
So you said
Moving
you
on.
don't, yeah, you said you don't agree with the description.
Yes, I don't agree with you locking up kids for these reasons and completely ignoring the fact of their upbringing or anything else as if
I'm not
children
ignoring
are
that.
inherently malice because that's what you're saying. That's what I'm
I
hearing.
never
And I'm hearing
claimed
that you're
that.
very apathetic towards children. That's what I'm
That's
hearing.
probably why you sit there and think the positive, even though they do the negative most of the
What
time.
is so bad? No, genuinely, tell me, what is so bad about thinking that children aren't inherently malice? I want you to tell
Uh,
me. What is
um,
so bad
can you
about
stop
not
yelling,
thinking that
please?
children?
Because you have,
That
then you would, this is why it's bad, because you will uphold a certain expectation and uphold it so much that you forget that there are a lot of children that don't hold up to that expectation. That's why it's so bad. So then you come on places like this and you completely neglect and don't even mention that they do still do bad because you uphold this certain innocent child. These child are innocent when some of them are not, but most are.
Why do you
Period.
say that most children are malicious then?
I didn't say malicious. I didn't even call them a word. I'm just calling it what they do. So
You're
please don't
calling what
sit there
they
and put words in
do
my mouth.
malicious. What do you say that they
I
do?
say
What
they
would
do
you
disgusting things. I'm not calling the child disgusting. I'm saying they do disgusting things, okay?
like what?
So
Can you just give me some
just read the
examples?
description. You've been here like 2 days ago. You know this is the same description. You've yet to understand it and read it actually.
An
So how about you read the
infant.
description?
Yeah, I did read the description.
Okay,
This
so
is
those are the
CP,
behaviors.
which it could vary from a lot of people. But okay then.
So if they do
So
those things on a frequent basis, I would still not hold this, oh, children are all innocent. I'm only going to blame their parents. No,
I,
because if they're doing this on a daily basis, it's the child, not the
but you
parent.
think that the parents are also liable for this behavior?
To a certain degree, but not the whole degree.
Why do you think not the whole degree?
Because, like I explained to you the last time, the parent isn't literally sitting down with the child. You know how they would teach, the kid their ABCs and stuff, like teaching them stuff. They're not sitting
Mm-hmm.
down with the child in the same aspect of when they will learn their ABCs and teaching them you need to hit, you need to break, you need to scream, you need to steal, you need to trespass, and you need to be disrespectful. They're never ever teaching these kids those exact things. The kids
Of
just pick
course
it
not.
up. The kids just pick it up. Okay?
Of
So if they're
course
not
not.
deliberately telling them to do these things, I'm not going to 100% blame the parent for allowing this behavior to consist.
Mm-hmm.
So that is why I don't blame 100% of the parent. I only blame it like 40, maybe even
40?
30.
Why do you say 40? That is a very interesting point.
Because a child, listen, I see things that my mom does and I know it's bad. Even when I was a child, I knew it was bad and I didn't repeat the same behaviors.
How did you, can I ask something? How did you know it was bad? Even though your mother was doing it, which
Because
for
guess
most kids,
what?
that doesn't really matter.
My mom taught me what she was doing was wrong. So she was being very hypocritical, and my dad too.
Yeah,
You know,
okay, they're very
like
hypocritical.
smoke, doing stuff like that. A lot of people do that in my family, but I'm not doing that because my mom says that's not good. People say that's not good, but they do it. So just because I see my mom doing it doesn't mean I'm going to do it because I'm a child. There's some kids that don't mimic their parents' behaviors because they are the good childs. That
That
are
is
very little of
physically
them.
impossible for
How's
a
I
child.
literally gave you an example. It's 100% true.
Can I give you, do you know a girl named Jeannie? Like the feral child?
No, I don't.
And this is an example because I searched it up. Jeannie was considered a feral child because what her dad used to do, because he was very, very abusive, would used to lock her up in a room, and you know what happened to her? She did not learn any human language. She did not learn morals. She was a blank slate because for
Are you
children
talking
to
about?
be
Are you talking about the girl who
Jeannie,
was like the police found her in her room and she was just stuck on this.
no, I'm talking about the girl whose mother eventually did get out of that abusive relationship, but she
Oh,
was like
okay.
13 and she had no knowledge of the human language. Like she did not know any
Yeah,
words.
that's the girl who was strapped to the chair when like the police found her.
The
And was she
police
like
didn't
always
find her. Her
drooling?
mother went to the police.
Then who found her
Her
and
mother
reported
brought her.
this?
The mother got out of the relationship and
So all of a
went to the
sudden she
police
gets
department.
out of the relationship, then she's like, "Oh, I care about my child." What? Okay,
She
hold on. Let
could.
me
You
see.
realize this is how I know you're apathetic, because if you knew anything about the relationship that she was in, she was financially crippled under this man and emotionally crippled because her health
I
was
don't
so
care
bad
how
that she couldn't
crippled you
even
have to
think
be.
again.
You will still have a
So you're
motherly instinct to
unempathetic.
take care of your child first. There's
So
mothers
then
who
you're apathetic.
literally, no, there's literally mothers who
No,
sacrifice
yes,
their
you are,
lives
because you're judging this woman
and
based off
she
of her physical
can't get out
capability.
of an abusive relationship and puts her child through the worst, and you think I'm supposed to
It's
pity
not.
her? Absolutely not.
It's it's not about, oh, she all of a sudden cared about her child. If that's your outlook on things, you actually have no empathy for anybody, and you're actually
Stop
like
telling
a
me
psycho.
what you think I am, because I'm not telling you what I think you
I'm
are,
gonna
and there's a
tell you what
long
I think
list.
because
Then you're going to leave because
you,
you are being one of the most
well, if you're
disrespectful
gonna put
children
me
that I
down, I'm
have a
gonna put
problem
that
with,
down.
which is number 4. You're being disrespectful. You're being
Okay,
disrespectful.
my bad.
Don't
But if
tell
you're
me
gonna
what you
put
think
me
I
down,
am.
if you're
No, you put yourself down. When you come up here and you call me all these things that I'm certainly not, because I don't pity a mother who purposely stayed in the relationship and allowed her daughter to get that um, malnourished, because I don't pity her. Absolutely not. You would pity the mother who got in the relationship, stayed in the relationship. Like, yeah, you got your whole stuff messed up, okay? Okay, so let me just let Duck back up real quickly, and you got 2 minutes to say what you really have to say, okay?
Why are you timing me now?